Alright, so I've been having a pretty rough time with this chemo. Haven't been able to do a whole lot. I've been just completely wiped out. I've had a lot of problems with my mouth. But every day I've been trying to get up and do a little bit of something. And I haven't been doing a good job of, I haven't been filming pretty much any of it. Just because not only am I tired, the chemo slows your thought process down. And everything takes longer, everything is harder. And it's just been too hard to set up the cameras and deal with that and then try to actually get something done. But I wanted to update. So what I decided to do here was replace what I had put in the boat before was just a 12-volt electric cooler. Now, they're nice. I used to use it in a semi a lot, but I also remember the problem with them is they run constantly. If it's plugged in, it's running. These compressor models get to temperature and stop. Those coolers are fine inside a truck, inside an RV that's temperature controlled, but in the boat, with it being hot, it's just going to be running constantly and never really get too cold. So I decided to go ahead and switch out for the compressor, which kicks on and kicks off. So at night, it won't run all night because it'll stay pretty close to the temperature. But the old refrigerator that was in there and the cooler are vertical, and this is horizontal, so I have to figure out a way to install it. So what I've been working on is I built this tray, and I have these slides that'll slide out. And it'll slide out, and then we can open the top to access it. It's been a lot of work. And like I said, my thing is slow down. It took me probably a day and a half just to make this stupid little tray, which normally would have taken me a couple hours. The hard part was, let me move this out of the way. I made this tray out of oak, and I routed out so I could inset the bottom so it would be flush and give it some more strength. I got a little boo-boo here where it broke off when I was trying to do it. I also made it a little too tight, so I had to chisel out some of the edges. So yeah, it was a day and a half just to make this. But at least we did something. But like I said, I couldn't film it, and I would do little bits here and there. Sometimes it was only an hour a day I could actually come out and do something. Some days, like yesterday, I planned on being out here. Just couldn't do it. So what we're going to do now is I want to fiberglass the inside of this, and the first thing we need to do is put a fillet in around these edges. This fiberglass doesn't like 45-degree angles, so we'll put a fillet in there so it's kind of concave. I'm not doing a big one, but we just use a popsicle stick and go along the edges so that it rolls up instead of creasing. So that's what we're working on today, is at least get the fillet in there. Back to the wood system. Wood system's close to empty. So I got the fillet in, I sanded the edges. Now we're going to get ready to mix it up and lay the fiberglass. And I got 2 pumps just to do that. So I got it all glassed in. Now to let it dry and trim the edges. Alright, so I haven't been good about filming, but we got this tray for the fridge built, got it fiberglassed, And you can see there, I got a hole drilled and epoxied the inside so that any condensation can get out and it'll run out the back and drain into the bilge. And then this is a new faceplate. It's a piece of plywood that I went over front with epoxy and then sanded it smooth so you can't tell that it's actually plywood. Now we gotta get the slides on. So I don't know how or if this is gonna work, but what we do, this has a locking system. We pull the lock, pull it all the way out, pull this piece out, and then it's screwed down on here. Put them backwards. So I've got this one installed. What you do is you pull the latch and the door slides out. I don't know if it's going to be far enough. I don't know what I'm doing. But like I always say, it's not a how-to. This is a watch what this idiot's doing. So this is going to go on this end over here. I line it up with the edge and then put it dead center. Yeah, like I said, my thinking is not good. Very slow. I almost screwed up on the first one. I was digging through my screws and I found a screw. I was like, oh, that'll work. Turns out it was too long. It was the wrong type of head and I was afraid I over drilled the holes. Luckily it fit, but I'm going to down step for this one. Okay, so we got to get that into this mess. And it's not fitting real well. I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull this off. So trying to fit this in here, we run into a couple of problems. As we get to the back, we have the bilge line. So we have to try to pin that to the side and move it over. We're going to stick out a little bit. I'm wondering if I raise it up. What I'm noticing here is you can't see it there, but I gotta trim this edge. I can't get it in here straight. I mean, that's fairly straight. We gotta trim this. This turned into way more than I should be doing today. I had to change my shirt because I got too much sun and chemo burns me really fast. Like I didn't even get a whole lot and I was burning. What we're gonna do is, so I have these left over from the light. We're going to put this around the bilge line and get it over to the edge as much as possible. Whew. It's hot. Well, I don't know if this is ever going to work or not, but I think I got it figured out. I measured over. I've got to cut some stuff. It's just that he's got to be so close. It's got to be perfect. It's hot today, but once we get this tray installed, it's going to be a whole nother thing to figure out how to cover this. I don't even know how I did it the first time. Like I said, my thinking's not right. And somehow we're going to get this to cover. But where to cut and all that stuff, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So I think I'm getting somewhere here. I had to trim this piece here to go along there. But I measured out and cut these pieces to fill in, and it's pretty tight. Seems to be working. I don't know about this. As I figured, something's not right. So, I was trying to figure out how to trim this out. The old one, I had cut the shape of the face out and put it on. But with this one actually sliding, we need to, we can't do that. Sorry, I'm struggling a bit today. What I did was I took some tape and folded it, put it on the back side. I cut 3 pieces and cut the 45s from the solid face that I was gonna originally try to use, and I'm just gonna do it like this. It's not the best, and I wish I would have done this differently, but the way I'm thinking right now, it just didn't work. I cut them off before I thought about it. Alright, so like I said, took the old fridge out and installed this one. And what we did is locks. So you press the buttons down and then it rolls out. You open it up. And what's nice is it locks back in place. What's nice about it coming all the way out like that, say later on you want to take it to the house, you can pull this out. Here's the power cord to plug it in the house. And you can get it cold and bring it in and put it in. It's just a much better option than what we had, and like I said, it's a compressor, so it's not running all the time. It runs when the temperature gets below a certain point. Where the 12-volt cooler literally just runs all the time and doesn't get as cold. But this turned out to be a huge project. Way more than I should have bit off right now, but at least we got it done. And there was times when I first came in here with this thing, like I said, I had to strap the bilge line to the side to make room. When I first came in here and tried to shove it in here, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work. This is going to be close. And then I was like, all right, I got this. And I built the tray, and the first time I put the tray in here, I'm like, there's no way this is going to work. It's going to stick out too far. I can't get it in there. But it was just a matter of sitting down and figuring it out, which took me a lot of time. But I figured out by raising it up some, because of the boat slant, raising it up, able me to push it back some. So yeah, we got it in there. I wish I could say I knew what's next, but I don't. I'm not gonna say a whole lot now, but I'm hoping this isn't my last project. But at least we did get it in there.